I hope network stabilizes while I'm doing this question. Yes, network is an issue around this time. And what I'll do is I'll just answer the question. Then, if there are any questions, we'll do it after the video has been recorded. I just hope network will be stable this time. Okay, so the question reads: the demand for good eggs is given by QD equals 6,000 minus half PX minus PY plus 9PZ plus 1 over 10 M. So what this is telling us is that the quantity demanded for good X is dependent on the price of good X, price of good Y, and the price of good Z, and also the average income of the people within that area. Research shows that prices of related goods are given by PY 6,500, PZ $100. Or the average income of individuals consuming this product is M equals $70,000. So first of all, the ask us indicate whether codes Y and Z are substitutes or complements for code X. All right, so in order to do this, we need to focus on the coefficients or the sign before the letter of, like for good Y, we can see it's a negative sign here, and for good Z is a positive sign. So let's do this. Let's so say QDX equals 6,000. First, let's isolate this equation to see the relationship between the quantity demanded for good X and the price of good Y. So PY is like this. So if the price of PY increases, all right, let's say PY equals 10, then it becomes 20, then it becomes 30. What we're going to notice, since there's a negative side here, the quantity demanded of good X is going to be going down. So what we can say for good Y is that good Y, since if the price of good Y goes up, the quantity demanded for good X goes down, we can say that Y is a complementary good. For example, as we said, an example of complementary goods, we can have phones and phone covers. So if the price of phones had to go up, the price of phone goes up, the quantity demanded for phone covers is going to go down since phone covers are used in conjunction with phones. So if the price of phones goes up, few people buy phones. And as few people are buying phones, it means few people will also be buying phone covers. So as we can see here, if the price of good Y goes up, if you want, you can insert in values, any values. What you're going to notice is the quantity demanded for good X goes down. So we can say good X and Y are complementary. Any questions, colleagues? Say yes. For we're coming to PZ. Yes, we're coming to PZ. If we isolate, okay, if we isolate, we say okay, QDX. So if the sign is positive, it means they are substitute goods. Okay. Since the price, let me just show you here. We just isolate and say, okay, this is 6,000 plus 9PZ. So as you increase PZ, you can put in values you want 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. You notice as the price of PZ is going up, the quantity demanded for good X also goes up. So X and Z are substitute goods, Meaning, if the price of good Z goes up, it means people stop buying good Z and they'll start buying good X. That's why the quantity demanded for good X is going up. So if the sign is positive, substitutes. If the sign is negative, complements. Are we okay with that, colleagues? Wonderful. Wonderful. Is X an inferior or a normal good? Colleagues, what's an inferior good? What's a normal good? I will start. An inferior good, when your income increases, the quantity demanded for that good goes down. An example of an inferior good, but here I don't sound like an evil person, but let's say soya chunks. Okay, you know those soya chunks. Yes, if once your income goes up, you'll stop buying soya chunks. Then a normal good is a good when your income goes up, even the quantity demanded for that good is also going to go up. All right, bread, butter, sugar, those are normal goods. All right, so for an inferior good, if your income goes up, the quantity demanded goes down because now you can buy better goods. Then if it's a normal good, if your income goes up, then the quantity demanded for the good goes up. So with this equation, let's just isolate QDX with this 1 over 10M. 1 over 10 is just the same as zero point 0.1, okay, 0.1 M. So if we start increasing the value of M, all right, let's say if M equals 10, M equals 20, M equals 30, what we're going to be noticing is also the quantity demanded of good X will be going up. So we can infer that good X is a normal good because as the income increases, the quantity demanded also increases. Are we okay with this? Any questions? Huh? Sorry, I never heard you. You are breaking. I never heard you, Mr. Joaquin. Just come again. So if there's a positive sign before the income, then you know it's a normal good. If it's a negative sign, then you know it is an inferior good. Okay. That's how you deal with these questions. Just try to isolate the two variables and just see if you increase one, what will happen to the other so that you'll be able to determine whether it's normal or inferior good. So if the sign is negative before the price of another good, then they are complementary goods. If the sign is positive, that's substitute goods. And then when it comes to income, The sign is positive, they're normal. And when then it's negative, they are inferior. Inferior goods. Yes, so we can proceed. If there are no questions, we can proceed. How many units of good X will be purchased when PX equals 5,230? So first thing we need to do is we need to first put this PY equals 6,500, PZ equals 100, and M equals 70,000. First we simplify our demand function. QDX equals 6,000, excuse me, 6,000 minus half px. Before we substitute in that 530 first, we need to simplify our demand function because we are given these variables, these values here. So first we put the values in so that our demand function gets simplified. Then we put in that 5 to 30. So minus py. So py we substitute it with 6,500. Plus minus py plus 9. Then pz is equal to $100 plus 1 over 10, 70,000. So we simplify, it's going to become 6,000 minus half px. So here we get negative 6,500. 9 times 100, that is 900. 1 over 10 times 70,000, you get 7,000 plus 7,000. So let's just get our calculators. We're going to say 6,000 minus 6,500 plus 900 plus 7,000. Six thousand minus 6,500 plus 900 plus 7,000. We get 7,400. So when we simplify our demand function, it will be 7,400 minus half px. This is our simplified version. And then now the question asks us how much units of wood X we purchased when px equals 5,230. We could have even included it in these tabulations to have also made life easy. So you say 7,400 minus half. Then we substitute that with 5,230. All right, so it's half of 5,230, that's 2,615. So when it's 7,400 minus 2,615. get 4,785 units. So this is how much units of good eggs will be produced when the price is 5,230. So they said determine the demand function, which we've done here already. And then they also want the inverse demand function. So with the inverse demand function, you have to make price the subject of the formula. So 2,400 minus half x. All right, so we take 7,400 over the equal sign. Oh, since, okay, what we can do is we can take negative half px over the equal sign, and then qx also take it. So this qx will come this side, and half px will go this side. So here we're going to have half px. Since it's negative, when it crosses over, it becomes positive. Equals 7,400 minus qx. Right, so we want to get rid of this half sign. So what you can do, multiply this by 2. What you do on one side, you're also going to do it over the other side. So half times 2, that is 1. So that's how we get px. And we're going to say 2 times 7,400, 14,800 minus 2 qtx. Yes, so this is the inverse demand function. Are we okay with this, colleagues? Madam Veronica, Madam Charity, I don't know if it's Mr. or Madam Wango, and Mr. Crush. Are we okay with these tabulations? The inverse, you want to make price the subject of the formula. Able to see my screen? Yes. For the inverse, you want to make price the subject of the formula. Okay. Another way we would have done this. Okay. Okay. First, where did you get confused on the part for the inverse? While we are multiplying by 2, wanted to get rid of this half sign. Okay. You want to get, yeah, so that's why you multiply by 2. So what you do on one side, you also do it on the other side. If you wanted, you would have just converted it into a decimal. So you say 7,400 minus 0.5 px. No, 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 no. It's not a pound. Yes, yes. There's no, for these ones, it's rare you see powers. So, yes, so you would have taken 0.5 px over the equal sign so that you keep it positive. Okay. Then this side you have 7, 4 minus q dx. Then to get px, you divide both sides by 0.5. I mean here 0.5. Okay, so you can also say px equals 7,400 minus q dx over 0.5. Then, if you want to make life simple, because in this question it's asking you to graph. So, if you want to make life simple, just split 7,400 over 0.5 minus q dx over 0.5. Then if you do 7,400 divided by 0.5, you get 14,800. 1, okay, there's a 1 here, an invincible 1. 1 divided by 0.5, you get 2. So you eventually come back to this equation. So if you're not comfortable with fractions, colleagues, use decimals, okay? Because